Good afternoon. We are ready to start this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Can we please stand for prayer? Gracious and eternal God, we pause to start this meeting to acknowledge your presence and your power. As we enter this month of December, we recognize that it is a season wrapped in many emotions. For some, it's a season of joy, celebration, and togetherness. But for others, God, it is a season filled with anxiousness, depression, and loneliness. So today, Lord, we stand in the gap for the entire city. We ask that you release peace, peace in our home, peace in our hearts, peace in our decision, and peace in every neighborhood of Florence. Let your calming presence settle over those who feel overwhelmed. Lift the heavy spirit of those who feel alone. Strengthen the weary, comfort the grieving, and remind every person that they are seen, valued, and loved. Lord, grant us peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that steadies the mind, a peace that heals the heart, a peace that only you can give. We ask all these things in your holy name. Let everybody say amen. Amen. We can now do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon again, and council, we have to approve our minutes. What say you?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Excuse me. We have an addendum. Please forgive me for skipping this. We have resolution number 2025-49, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Madam Mayor,
Opposed?
as we're doing the addendums, I would like to actually add a personnel item to executive session for this meeting.
Yes. That's a motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We also are going to move up resolution number 2025-47 and resolution number 2025-48. We will move that to come right behind service recognitions, if that's okay with you all. Thank you so much. So, council, we are at honors and recognition, service recognition. Hazel Wilson, 20 years, justice and law. My goodness.
proud to honor you today and grateful to have you as part of the city of Florence. And Katie was already thinking about retirement plans, and I told her she's going to have to go through beauty outdoor.
Next on the agenda, we have a grant presentation, and we love Mindy Taylor. Mindy, 3 times the charm, not 2, but Duke Energy Foundation grant, $10,000 presented by Mindy Taylor, Duke Energy Director of Government and Community Relations.
Do you love me without them? I check though, Mayor.
Well,
Is it for the children?
Okay.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mayor and member of council. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. You know, many of our customers across the state of South Carolina cannot participate in our current weatherization programs due to structural deficiencies in their homes, such as roof leaks. And so we recognize at the Duke Energy Foundation an opportunity to help. So a couple of months ago, they issued an RFP to organizations that actually do these structural repairs so that customers can participate in weatherization programs. And so today I'm pleased to announce a $10,000 grant to the City of Florence to help you with your weatherization program. So in the end, our customers can participate in company weatherization programs and ultimately save money on their bill.
Woohoo! Next, Council, we will move to resolutions number 2025-47. The resolution of recognition of Dr. John A. Keith III in honor of his contributions to revitalization and sustaining growth of downtown Florence, South Carolina. This is sponsored by Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is resolution number 2025-47. It's a resolution of recognition for Dr. John A. Keith III in honor of his contributions to the revitalization and sustained growth of downtown Florence, South Carolina. Whereas Dr. John A. Keith III, a longtime pediatrician and lifelong member of the Florence community, is committed to the betterment of the city of Florence. And whereas, in addition to his distinguished medical career, Dr. Keith has provided exceptional civic leadership through his service on the City of Florence Design Review Board, helping to preserve and protect the character and architectural heritage of the downtown historic district. And whereas Dr. Keith has been instrumental in the revitalization of downtown Florence through his work as a private developer, leading the redevelopment of multiple properties that have strengthened the economic vitality and historic charm of the area. And whereas Dr. Keith's development and ownership of several key downtown spaces, including Leaf Lounge, Chacabella, the Eleanor Building, Dolce Vita, 1031 American Grill, the Library, Alchemy Tapas Bar and Lounge, and the police substation have contributed significantly to the growth of local business, the enhancement of the cultural landscape, and the continued vibrancy of the downtown district. And whereas his vision, commitment, and personal investment have contributed to the transformation of downtown Florence into a vibrant, thriving hub for business, culture, and community life. And whereas Dr. Keith's dedication serves as an inspiring example of how professional expertise, civic engagement, and a passion for historic preservation can combine to create lasting positive impact for the Florence community. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of Florence, South Carolina, does hereby honor and commend Dr. John A. Keith III for his outstanding leadership, dedication, and meaningful contributions to the revitalization and historic preservation of downtown Florence. And it is resolved this 8th day of December, 2025.
Thank you. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. John Key.
Thank you, sir, for being a true trailblazer in our area. Your investments, your contribution, all of that has shaped what our downtown really is. Because of your additional investments, we have so many people that come along that invested along with it. I know I remember some of those businesses, and I support those businesses. But, and I know it's not something that the reason why you did this, but you always led with humility, quiet confidence, creating, building, and then making space for others to rise along with you. And we want to say thank you for everything you've done. And thank you for loving our downtown as much as we do.
Yes, yes. Madam Mayor,
Yes.
may I say? Dr. Keith, you can't sit down that easy. I'm sorry. For those who don't know, not only is he just an incredible human being and a great friend to all of us, but and an amazing doctor who, gosh knows, as a pediatrician, the reams of children whom you have taken care of, and I see so many nodding heads out there in the crowd already. But on top of that, what y'all don't know is what a skilled craftsman he is, because these buildings that have been redone, literally he did the incredible handiwork himself. And I've always told you you're one of my heroes, and there you are. Dr. Keith, thank you for everything.
Thank you so much. Next, we have resolution number 2025-48, a resolution of recognition for foster care crisis awareness in the city of Florence.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution is sponsored by Mayor Barnes, and it's resolution number 2025-48, a resolution of recognition for foster care crisis awareness in the city of Florence. Whereas there are currently 3,394 children in foster care across South Carolina, with 173 of those children from Florence County, and there is a critical shortage of licensed foster homes to meet this growing need. And whereas the lack of stable foster homes leads to children being placed in emergency beds, sleeping in offices, separated from their families and communities, causing emotional trauma and a sense of abandonment. And whereas research shows that children with stable foster placements are more likely to succeed in school, build healthy relationships, and have a brighter future, while children without stable placements face much higher risks, including homelessness, criminal justice involvement, and lower educational attainment. And whereas the South Carolina Youth Advocate Program is dedicated to providing children in foster care with a safe, stable, and loving environment, offering crucial support to foster children and families through services like licensing, coordination, mental health care, crisis management, and 24/7 support. And whereas raising awareness of the foster care crisis is vital to encouraging more community members to serve as foster parents, volunteers, and advocates, thereby strengthening the safety net for children in the city of Florence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina, hereby recognizes foster care crisis awareness and expresses its support for the South Carolina Youth Advocate Program and all organizations working to protect, uplift, and provide hope for children in foster care. Resolved this 8th day of December, 2025.
What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Tyler, could you come forward, please? Let's just take a picture, a quick picture. Would you care to say anything?
First off, I want to say words really can't express how grateful I am to Mayor Barnes and the City of Florence for really coming behind this mission. We see these statistics of these kids that fall through the cracks and don't end up where they want to be in life, and they funnel into these populations that have large impacts on all of our communities, right? Whether it's the homeless population, incarcerated population, unemployed, sex trafficking. We have large numbers from our own systems funneling into these populations, and that impacts communities on a deep level. And all these statistics are not just numbers, right? I see these kids each and every day. So to have a group of people that are willing to come behind that and see these as more than statistics, but these are real kids. These are real people that will one day be this panel right here in this room, and all your community leaders and business owners. These kids are that next generation. So to have a community that wants to come behind those kids, and we need families, right? So Florence could not be a better place for that. I've met some of the most incredible people I know, and they're sitting in this room right here. These kids need to be plugged into families that can love them, care about them, and support them, so that they don't become overlooked and they're sleeping in an office, or they're having to stay the night in a hotel, or have to go 2-3 hours one way just to get there real late at night and be out by 5:36 in the morning. This is the reality for some kids in our communities. We're not talking about a third world country. We're talking about right here in the city of Florence and all over South Carolina. We need families. That's what we do at South Carolina Youth Advocate Program. I cannot wait to see what we continue to do with the city of Florence and incredible organizations like the Foster Care Clothing Closet. Nicole's right here. Some of you know her, I'm sure. But it starts with us. It starts with us coming together, realizing, hey, this is a problem. We got kids falling through the cracks. How can we step up as a community and do it? So in this new year, 2026, I cannot wait to see what we can do together. Thank you all so much.
Thank
Seriously.
you. Thank you. Yes, Councilman.
I just wanted to piggyback on that. I had the opportunity to spend some time talking with Tyler at the foster care clothing center at the ribbon cutting, and so I would encourage anybody who has any questions to spend some time and talk to Tyler. You know, a lot of what we do and what we're up here on council is public safety, fighting crime, working for a future workforce for our folks. A lot of that has to do with what Tyler is touching as well, and I encourage anybody to spend some time, hear the numbers. It really is kind of mind-boggling, some of the stuff that he'll hit on, and the impact it really does have on our day-to-day. So I would encourage you, and if you have some time, please take a look at all that they're doing. Tyler, I want to talk to you between the executive session, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Next, we will have ordinance and position. No, not yet. We're going to come back to it. Yeah. Ordinance and position, bill number 2025-39. It's a second reading, an ordinance to amend chapter 17 of the city codes of City of Florence to add article 5 to provision related to relating improper use of public place and urban camping and others matters there related thereto.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Council. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. That's Article 4. I'm sorry, Article 4. And we have two here to speak. Mr. Tommy Campbell. You could come on up now.
Madam Mayor, council members, first of all, it's an honor to stand here before you today.
So let me just tell you, I didn't tell you, we have a timer, so, and they start the timer.
It won't take
I was getting them to start the timer,
Okay.
so I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. I just want to thank y'all for approaching this. The need for homelessness on the street, I've been dealing with them now about 6 years. I work part-time at the Salvation Army. Started out meeting Brian years ago, and my passion for homeless, but we've seen a 300% increase in homelessness over the last 3 years. And this is a start. NOU, which I'm chairman of the Mayor's Coalition for NOU, which is No One Unsheltered. This is a great step, but we have many more mountains to climb. And I commend y'all, and we will stand behind it. The organizations as members of NOU, we stand behind it, support it 100%. But what we're asking is that the training and the resources be provided to the officers of the police department when they come in contact with these people. Me being retired law enforcement, I know what it's like. You don't have time in the day to do your job to start off with, so this is going to be an inconvenience. So I just ask for some training and some resources made available to all the officers, so when they approach these people, and sometimes it could be a de-escalation or it could be an escalation. And I know it's hard to do, but I just want to thank y'all, and we support it 100%. And like I say, I look forward to working with y'all in the near future as we approach this homeless, because it's not going to go away. I mean, we see them, we have very limited resources to house them to start off with, limited resources as far as funds, and it seems like we're just steady shutting doors on them. So I look forward to working with y'all, and I thank y'all for what you're doing so far.
Thank you so much.
Mayor.
Yes, Councilman?
Tommy, I just wanted to commend you. I was talking to someone the other day just about how the NOU has been such a model for how to take money, take it to the people who are using it and find the best use for it. And the fact that I don't know how long the NOU's been going now, but probably about 7 years.
Probably close to 10.
Closer to 10.
Yeah.
And those types of initiatives generally will fade over time. You know, but y'all have stayed true to it. There's been growth, there's been change, positive change. And, you know, it was very difficult for me looking at this ordinance, but I do know that the one thing that I've always told homeless is keep your feet moving. And when you get stuck and you stop moving and you settle down, then it brings the negativity, but you're not getting that change. And I know that we have the best homeless organizations, the right heart, and that if we can get them to you and get them over that stranger danger and over that they can see permanent life change. So Thank you very much for what you're doing, and always trying to get more money. So.
Thank y'all so much.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Councilman Bryant, I'm very pleased to have been, before ever you all became on council, you and I talked about the creation of that No One Unsheltered program, and I think it's a huge benefit to our community, and it's a model, as you say, for so many other communities. But if you don't mind taking a moment just to educate everybody again on the program itself and how it works.
Well, I might get it wrong now, Tommy, but basically, in inception, what it was is to make sure that everyone who was homeless had a bed to stay in. And oftentimes we would find that there was 4 or 5 organizations, and we may have a bed here or there, but we didn't know. We didn't work together to know who actually had beds available, and then you had to get them there. And so actually Drew Griffin, previous city manager, came and said, hey, y'all form an organization, we'll put money behind it, but y'all show us how to use it. And so those funds are used, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, so that if someone comes in for their initial intake, for their stay, for their food, for their transportation, is all reimbursed by the city. And there's $75,000 allotted, or roughly around that amount. And then whatever's left at the end of the year, y'all will do grants among yourself to put that towards resources that benefit the homeless. Is that pretty much the same?
You're correct, yes, sir. But we only have 2 shelters. We have House of Hope, which is the main primary shelter. They see 98% of the homeless, and it was to no one in shelter was to put somebody in a bed. So if they showed up at a shelter and they were full, NOU would put them in a motel for one night. Now, and Salvation Army is an emergency overflow shelter, and that's all we have in Florence. I mean,
30 beds.
I think Mitch is here, and they stay packed every day, don't you, Mitch? I mean, we're at full capacity. I think we house them, about 40 people, and that's it. I mean, and you see them out here on the street all the time. But the last part you spoke of was correct up till about 3 years ago. We run out of money every year. I mean, we are having a hard time making it quarter to quarter. Our finance guy is here today, and I hear from him every night, hey, man, we out of money. We don't have no more money. So, we have to shut down. And it seems like it's always in the summer when the heat is so hot, or in the winter when it gets cold, because they come out of the tents and out of the woods and out of the boxes because they know that if they show up, we could put them in a motel for one night. But to go a step farther, we are seeing families. It's not just a homeless person now. It's multiple days. We're housing a woman and 2 kids, or a woman and 5 kids, and the days of one person are gone, and that money gets us nowhere. We can't even make it quarter to quarter.
Well, let's follow up. We had set aside, we were looking at some things for this year, but I think we mentally set that aside, Councilman Bailey, for next year for a community resource center. That could also be emergency overflow. So we've got some initials, but we need to kind of,
That's fine.
build upon that.
Whatever I can do to help y'all, just let me know. I'm here 24/7.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you.
Council, we have another person to appear before council, Ms. Suzanne La Rochelle.
Thank you, Council, for the opportunity to speak with you. I don't want to misspeak. After I saw the first reading and I read the notes from the meeting, it said that you would go into executive session and you would discuss with, I believe, no one unsheltered, and possibly change the amendment. So I don't know, or change the ordinance. I don't know if it's been changed. So I can tell you my concerns about the reading of the first ordinance, but it has changed. We all know that we have a crime issue in Florence, as all over the country. I would state that it is a misuse of police time to criminalize the homeless. The homeless are not criminals. The homeless are the most in need. And I spent, I'm not joking, probably 12 hours this weekend researching what is the solution to this problem. Some of you, Councilman Braddock, might remember when the Honorable Councilwoman Pat Highmore was alive, she wanted to create a day shelter, a place where there's a charging station. I actually allow 2 homeless people to sit on my porch and charge their phones on a regular basis. I also allow them to use my running water outside. We need to consider that. We need to consider a day hub. And at that day hub, there would be storage, there would be lockers, there would be running water, there would be charging stations. There is one city that's very comparable to Florence. It's in Tennessee that is doing that, and they are actually seeing a decrease in homelessness because also at that hub they have resources available. So I ask that we consider that. The other 2 or 3 things that in my research I found that it is absolutely unfair to give a homeless person a citation if there's not a shelter bed available. So I believe in the idea of officers being trained. If there's not some place for these people to go, it's not fair to cite them for sleeping. Second, We need to have documented outreach and services. We need to do a first engagement before enforcement. So somewhat of a warning saying, and if you are not able to go to X place on your own, I am happy to help you there. If there's a refusal, then you may consider a citation. And at the last, if we do choose to arrest someone that's homeless, we need to make sure we don't lose their identification, because it is incredibly difficult to get IDs when you're homeless. And we also need to make sure we don't lose their medication. Many people, if not the majority of homeless people, are on medication, do have mental illness, and we need to take care of them, not criminalize them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilman Smith?
Speaking on your first statement, and just so we all have clarity in the room, when we came out of executive session, we wanted to make sure that the ordinance fit what the other organizations who actually take care of the homeless here in the city of Florence. So I just want to ask the city manager, did we actually meet with those organizations, and did they oppose of anything in this ordinance?
As you mentioned, staff was charged with meeting with organizations. I met with the organization, as well as Assistant City Manager Clint Moore met with organizations. They were not opposed, as was just discussed. They did ask for additional resources.
And I think, Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I think we talked about the first time would be a warning, and then if there was a situation to, which I wanted to commend Ms. Hazel Wilson for the homeless court, that she was instrumental in starting referring them to homeless court if there is a thing, if there is a situation that's ongoing. And then through the homeless court, they'll be they can go into a program and then have all their charges not expunged, but actually dropped as if it never happened.
That is correct. Our process has always been to work with people, not only the homeless, but all individuals. Arresting is the last resort, particularly for homelessness, and the statement was made to ensure that we do not criminalize homeless. I agree with that. Our interim chief agrees with that wholeheartedly. This is, again, to ensure that our public areas, people don't use those for housing and sleeping there, and we will provide means, even taking them in our police cars to the shelters and working with those organizations. So certainly we will provide warnings and tell them about additional resources that are available in this community.
Okay.
Yeah, because Suzanne, I wouldn't want Pat, haunting me or whatever from heaven, because she would do it.
Yes.
She's still fighting for the homeless, I'm sure.
Yes, we are in the process of opening up a 501c Hearts for the Homeless in honor of Pat. And one of the major fundraising campaigns we will do, and this is not going to happen for years, is to try to do this hub that she talked about. It's like it's a day stay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council, next we have introduction of ordinance, bill number 2025-43, first reading, an ordinance to amend section 14-
Need a vote.
Oh, we didn't do a vote. I'm sorry. I thought we
Yeah, we
voted.
voted.
We voted.
But we didn't do 42.
Okay.
42, 2025, 42.
42.
Oh, we did vote. Okay, so bill number 2025-42 is the second reading, an ordinance to annex and zone NC-6.3 South Irby Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map 00152-01-029.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Council, let me say this. Councilman McCall has an excused absent. He's not here today, but he does have an excused absence. So please forgive me for not mentioning that. Next, we have introduction and ordinance, bill number 2025-43. It's a first reading, an ordinance to amend section 14-21 Section 14-22, and Section 14-23 of the City Florence Municipal Code regarding provision related to regulating the curfew for juveniles and other matters related thereto. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
Clint?
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Just for a few points to consider with this amendment to the ordinance. The original ordinance, it had the age of, for a juvenile to be 16 years of age and younger, and the current curfew, as it is currently written, is for midnight until 6 a.m. With this amendment, we are adjusting that age and those times. We're bringing it to 17 years of age and younger, which matches the definition within the state code. And then we are also amending the curfew hours to be from 10 until 6 a.m. citywide, with a 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. within the D1 redevelopment district. And those are the major amendments with this ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Councilman Smith?
Clint, with the difference in time on curfew, that was actually something that we saw at another municipality. I think it's Charleston. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, we see a lot of the municipalities change or have a different regulation for their downtown area, typically because it is a more urbanized, condensed, higher density, much more businesses per acre than that of your suburban style development. So there is that. I guess the opportunities arise for juveniles to get in a little bit more trouble than that of some of the other areas. So we typically do see a tighter curfew on that.
But the curfew is tighter, but we also have some exceptions for that time as far as if it's prom or something like that. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, that's right. So if similar to someone with a new driver's license, if you're working, all those types of exceptions apply to this same code as well.
Okay, Councilwoman Lee Smith Jackson.
Clint, did we see an increase in violence during this 10 to 12 time that we put it at 10?
To decrease it, yes. What we, a lot of our businesses within the city limits as well as downtown, that's around the general time that they begin to close. And past that, we typically see our drinking establishments that are open. And so, obviously, if you are 16, 17, below the age of 21, you're not allowed to be in those establishments. And so, it's just a regulation playing off of those requirements.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you so much, Clint. Next, we will go to the addendum. It's resolution number 2025-49, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Do you all need something, or we need to go on in? Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Councilor. This resolution is for the city manager to sign an agreement to allow us to move forward with our Jeffers Creek Sanitary Sewer Project. We would have to construct within the CSX right-of-way along South Church Street to install a new 54-inch gravity sewer line.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Michael, thank you. Just briefly, if you would, remind us what this new line is, why it's needed, and kind of what, and it's a very expensive line that we're getting ready to put in too.
Correct. This will be phase one of installing a new Jeffers Creek line along the Jeffers Creek interceptor.
For wastewater.
For wastewater. And this will be a gravity sewer system that will work from South Castro Street into the wastewater facility as phase one. Phase two is putting in a new line along South Urban Street and Second Loop out to Naturally Outdoors with the construction of a new lift station. And all of this is intent on allowing the infrastructure to carry the sewer along Jeffers Creek that was originally designed years ago to handle that flow, and then all the new flow on the western side of the system that currently flows through Jeffers Creek. And that are approximately about 2.5 million gallons that we would take out of the existing Jeffers Creek interceptor and put into the new system during the phase 2 development.
And if I'm not mistaken, the total cost is around $50 million.
Total cost, phase 1 is approximately 25, then another 25 million for phase 2.
And
we received 24 million from the state to help us cover the cost of phase 1.
There's been a lot of concern on the part of the public about some of the wastewater overflows that happen during stormwater events.
Yes, sir.
And that's in large measure due to the tremendous capacity or overflow of capacity that's currently through the line that's going through Jeffries Creek.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And this new approach of taking this other line running down Second Loop Road will take some of that pressure off of the existing line and then allow for that existing line to be updated and repaired so that those leaks will no longer be taking place.
Correct.
Is that basically what we're trying to do?
Yes, sir.
Do we have any idea on a rough timeline for phase 1?
We hopefully put out for bid first quarter 26 and tend the schedule. We won't know the final schedule until we get a contract under contract. But from the engineering design, we hope to have it completed by fall of 28 for phase 1.
Congratulations to city and staff for getting almost 100% funding for phase 1. Let's see if you can do it for phase 2 as well.
Yes, sir. We're working on it.
All righty, thank you.
Mindy? No, I'm just kidding. Don't go. That was. Come back with the check, Mindy. All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, madam.
What say ye? So moved. And there was a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We have reports to council, Stedman Group opioid analysis and recommendations.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
One
Yes.
second.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Before we get into the presentation, I just kind of wanted to give a brief history and overview of what the city's done with the opioid funding so far. So over the next 18 years, the city of Florence is estimated to receive approximately $4.5 million as part of the $360 million statewide opioid litigation settlements. So far, the city's had 2 award cycles. For the 2023 funding cycle, council awarded $582,860 to 4 applicants. Circle Park was $55,860. Resurrection Restoration Center for the Homeless was $105,000. Tenacious Grace was $172,000, and House of Hope was $250,000. For the 2024 funding cycle, council awarded $554,524 to 5 applicants. Potter House Recovery, Inc. received $72,949. Tenacious Grace, $73,220. PD Healthy Start, $100,000. Circle Park, $58,355, and House of Hope, $250,000. So the South Carolina Opioid Recovery Fund introduced an option for political subdivisions of the state, which is the city of Florence, to use $25,000 of their allocation to develop a long-term community opioid remediation plan. The city issued an RFP and awarded the contract to the Stedman Group to develop the City of Florence Community Action Plan. Here to present today is Brianna Robles and Courtney Lane with Stedman Group.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name is Bree Robles. I am with the Stedman Group. I also am somewhat of a hometown girl. I am born and raised just up the road in Conway, South Carolina. I've been in Colorado for 6 years, so I'm very happy that my work has brought me back here. Very fun to be back home this week, so thank you for having me. Do we have slides? Are you all looking at them? Oh, here they are. Okay, awesome. So we're going to present to you just a couple slides on the Community Action Plan for Opioid Settlement Spending and how we got to that plan. So you can move me forward to the next slide. In summary, we conducted a comprehensive gap analysis of secondary data. We also conducted focus groups, community meetings, and all of that together led to this community action plan. It is very informed by Florence community members. We worked together with Florence community members through the focus groups, community meetings, to really develop this community action plan. Next slide, please. All right, so just leave this up for a second. Here's some links to all of our reports. They are publicly available, so you may go to these links or take a picture if you want, and you can look them up, the full report, the gap analysis report, the summary report, the community action plan narrative, and the community action plan work plan. These are all available for you. Next slide, please. All right, a little bit more into the project overview, how this is broken up into a few phases. Phase 1, City of Florence contracted with the Stedman Group, us, we're based out of Denver, to create a community-informed and data-driven community action plan for the use of opioid settlement funds. Stedman Group conducted a gap analysis to identify strengths and weaknesses in Florence County. Again, through focus groups and interviews and community meetings, we really worked with your community, with people with lived experience and your organization leaders, some to which Glenn mentioned, to make this community action plan. So it's really grounded in community input and secondary data. So we also dug hard for data that's available across the state and across Florence to mesh with the focus group information and information from the community members to create the plan. So then we created the community action plan to support transparent, community-driven opioid settlement decision-making in Florence. And then next steps will be to move into implementation of the community action plan. Next slide, thank you, Glenn. So for primary data collection, this is the qualitative inputs. This is where we were talking to community members through focus groups, interviews, and community action plan meetings. Then we have the secondary data, the quantitative data. This include publicly available data like the Recovery Ecosystem Index, South Carolina Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services, the Department of Public Health, the census, and other organization-level data. Glenn mentioned a few organizations that received awards. We have talked to all of them, and a few of those organizations provided us with some data as well. Next slide. So in sum, again, you can look at the full report online. I'm going to give a brief summary of the analysis, and then my colleague Courtney will talk about the community action plan recommendations. But really, in sum, prevention efforts can really reach deeper into communities here in Florence, is what we've seen, specifically into youth schools and stuff, prevention. Treatment is not accessible to uninsured or underinsured. We really heard this through the community organizations that provided us with data. They're having a hard time getting those services to folks who are underinsured. Resource navigation is fragmented across agencies, so there are great resources in Florence. The recovery community is really strong, but they just need to communicate a little bit more. Naloxone access is inconsistent, and governance can improve around all of the opioid settlement funding decisions. So we heard a little bit about a community resource center, and some of this resource navigation recovery support work can also be built into a community resource center. Next slide, please. Here's some quotes directly from your community. We have one detox here in Florence, and you have to have insurance, so there's not a lot of access to detox. And again, that is another first step into recovery. Actually, that's the heart. I think that's one of the hardest parts of detoxing, and in Florence, it's very, very hard to get into detox. I think one of the real problems is the stigma, and from a very top level, like the government, and it's pushed into the community because we deal with all this all the time. The stigma surrounding opioid use, and it's a choice problem, and why can't you just stop? So these are some of the inputs from community focus groups and the community action plan meetings. Next slide, please. So in summary, our recommendations to Florence, again from the input we gathered from the community, are to strengthen prevention efforts across youth and also reduce stigma. improve treatment access through navigation affordability supports, and enhanced coordination. Coordination across resources for homeless and people incarcerated, it all goes together. Build a stronger recovery ecosystem through housing supports, peer staffing, and employment initiatives. Integrate naloxone education and harm reduction messaging into all prevention strategies, and establish a shared governance, communications, and evaluation functions to coordinate across the city. And there's also potential to coordinate with these dollars with the County of Florence as well. We have worked with many municipalities who have partnered with their county to make best use of their funds. Next slide, please. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Courtney to talk about the nitty-gritty of the Community Action Plan. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is my first time in South Carolina, not a local, but it's been really lovely, far more cold than I expected, so I don't know what y'all are doing, but...
She tried oysters yesterday. So.
For the first time ever, it was my first oyster. I only had one. Okay, so our Community Action Plan is really just your strategic plan that you've hired us to build out. Some of the processes included... One, we did our focus group, so we really met with the community and just had conversations, asked questions, held like roundtables and information gathering, but then we convened those same partners in building out the mission and the vision of the strategic plan, and then ultimately the strategies. This was conducted over 3 2-hour sessions, so those were the strategic planning sessions, was a full 6-hour, real nitty-gritty work with your community. Our first strategy that we came up with was around the prevention, community awareness, and harm reduction. Second strategy would be recognizing the need for treatment access and increased navigation. And then the third strategy would be really bolstering the recovery ecosystem that really is already heavily operating here, but just kind of in silos. Go ahead, Glenn. Okay, so strategy number 1, you see that there's dollars tied to this. We will get to the budget summary, but this is just kind of the first look at how we recommend allocating the budget. It's really kind of split evenly across the 3 strategies. So you'll see it's about a 30% allocation per strategy, and then there's also a governance line. So for the first one, strategy 1, prevention, community awareness, and harm reduction, our goal here would be reducing opioid use and stigma and overdose risk through youth education, community outreach, naloxone training, and harm reduction information. So that's kind of that training piece that has already come up in today's meeting. The budget allocation, this is going to be the highest of the 3, is the $200,000. And the city priorities would include prevention and awareness campaigns, youth and family educations, naloxone trainings and distribution, and community harm reduction education. And that actually could look like the law enforcement training that did come up here. Okay, next slide, thank you. Strategy 2 would be treatment access and navigation, increasing timely access to treatment and behavioral health care for all residents with a focus on uninsured and high-risk individuals. I would say out of all the focus groups, interviews, and then the community action plan meetings, the biggest thing that came up was detox and access to withdrawal management. We do also want to call out that it is phenomenal that your small city has a really robust withdrawal system, but it's just that the uninsured and underinsured don't have access to it. So some of our recommendations would be increasing the ability to have access to that through care navigation programs, a resource directory for treatment and recovery services, and actually this is really aligned with that resource center. Our recommendation, because of costs associated, would be really to just build out a library that everybody has access to in order to see where those resources are. And then potentially partnering with the county to expand withdrawal management access, and then a treatment affordability pool, which would really be like a pot of money set aside for individuals who need care immediately that don't have the funds for it or don't have the insurance for it. The budget allocation there is $140,000. And I also do want to call out, I didn't say, these budget allocations are actually for a 5-year period. So this isn't on an annual basis. Our strategy, or our strategic plan is rooted in a 5-year. And these numbers are coming from the money that y'all currently have in your bank accounts. It's around $560,000. So I know that there is more money coming in. This is just rooted in what is currently available and what you could currently allocate. Okay, next slide. Strategy 3, the recovery ecosystem. Strengthen housing, peer support, and long-term recovery pathways. The budget allocation here is $160,000, and city priorities would include recovery housing, and I know that y'all have already funded that, so it would really be continuing that. Peer support expansion. It was recommended by the community that peer support specialists are integrated in all steps of the recovery process and not just within specific organizations. And then again, if we're able to collaborate with the county, you could potentially build out a recovery provider compact or a recovery-friendly workplace initiative, which would allow for streamlines from individuals in recovery to employment and kind of furthering along their like recovery sustainability. Next slide. Okay, so we've got this implementation roadmap, and this is built out, this is a very high level. Y'all have access to the narrative and also the work plan. The work plan is built out in a spreadsheet where you can literally see hard steps, milestones, and key deliverables. This is just a little bit of like an overview of that. The first thing would be establishing a governance model. So it would be really similar to the council that is being facilitated here today, but it would be very specific to the opioid dollars and how you spend those and making sure that there's governance over that. And that could look like city ran. It could also be a collaboration between city, county, and community members. It kind of depends on how you'd like to structure it. Second would be ensuring transparency and accountability. We've done a lot of work in building out public-facing dashboards to show the community this is how we're spending it, this is how many people were reached, this is how many people are still in recovery, or like these are the spots in which the dollars are really being pushed in the city of Florence that need it the most. So coming up with some form of accountability measures and dissemination, essentially. And then the third component that we do a lot of too is evaluation. How is this money being spent? Is it being spent correctly? And is it giving us the outcomes that we're looking for? So right now, it's a lot of evaluation of how your funded organizations are doing. So the organizations that you had listed before, Glenn, and the money that's being spent with them, how are they doing? Who are they reaching? How is that helping the city of Florence? Go ahead and go to the next slide, Glenn. This is a little bit of a high-level timeline. Again, much smaller than the comprehensive sheet that we have written down for you online. But these are kind of the different phases that you would be looking at with this operating from 2026 to 2030. This implementation budget, the $60,000 here, would look like hiring an opioid response coordinator, like somebody who is really coordinating the governance and making sure that the implementation is out and that you're evaluating and that the funds are being spent correctly. Go ahead, Diggle. Here's the summary that we kind of alluded to before, and we have the percent allocations here really so that you can apply this to future funding. So if you want to keep the structure really similar, no matter how much money that comes in the future, as long as Florence's needs are relatively the same, you should obviously relook at needs as the money is spent, but this is our recommended allocation percentage. Next slide. This was kind of something, yeah, we don't have to do this whole discussion, but I guess our recommendation with how much money y'all have and how much money the County of Florence has, it would make a lot of sense for there to be like cross-jurisdictional collaboration. You saw the map on one of the slides earlier where we were kind of pinpointing different resources, and a lot of them are outside of City of Florence because we recognize that if somebody in City of Florence needs resources, they're likely not just staying right here. They might be exiting the city and getting those resources. So it might make a lot of sense to do some collaboration. And I think that's, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Councilman.
So the 5 years, the 560,000 over 5 years, would that be like doing each phase, like the first year funding phase 1, which was 60,000, and then the next year a portion of that? Because like you just heard, several organizations are getting funding, and the goal is for them to get funding, establish programs, and then over time, to taper off as the funding that we're receiving tapers off. So, for us to take all the money and put it towards this would be to be taken away from the people that are doing the work. Would it be split over time? How would y'all suggest it?
I mean, that's totally how, the governance model would come up with the way that you want to be spending it. So typically, the jurisdictions that we work with in Colorado specifically do 2-year funding opportunities. So they get funded for the 2 years and then they reapply. So it wouldn't necessarily be spending it all up front. It would be spending it over time. And then there would be future installments of funding. And hypothetically, you would strategize like how you're going to taper off that funding depending on who's getting it. Gotcha. And then you would also reevaluate your needs. So if something comes up where like, now residency is like really thriving and we don't really need housing, but instead we need stronger, I don't know, like job placement or something like that, then you would reallocate those dollars in the future.
So really establishing that board and finding that person is
yeah, and that $60,000 is across the 5 years just for that position specifically or whatever model you want to run. We also do facilitation, so if you just wanted consultants to do that, that would be an option, or if you wanted to hire somebody.
So like $12,000 a year. So that's what I was curious. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The other thing is, do y'all know of any detox solutions like programs, cities doing it right, organizations, funding, because that's an anomaly because of the medical requirements and the cost, and it having to be a medical facility. Any direction or best practices that we could look at? For
So off the rip, our initial look at it, we were talking about whether or not we encourage y'all to build out the one that's currently operating or build a second one. And for the size of the city of Florence and with the dollars that are available, it makes the most sense to just expand at MUSC and to really build like infrastructure there to be able to support anyone. And of course, that's going to look like a lot of investment, but it would be far cheaper than standing up another location or something like that. That might not make sense for your population size.
Okay, Council Pro Tem.
Thank you so much. And thank you to whoever put this together to get this whole process underway, Mr. City Manager, staff. I appreciate this detailed effort, which dovetails in very nicely to the earlier conversations we had, but that raises, in my mind, going up to the 10,000 foot level, there's different pieces. And my concern is that I see your head nodding over there.
Oh, we all know.
My concern is that you got this incredibly well thought out, trying to do something good over here operation going on, and then you got this incredibly well thought out, trying to do something good operation going on over here, and then you have something else great going on over there, but how does it all work together, and how do we as city council figure out how to make sure it's all, I mean, we're all very busy, but we're very passionate.
Absolutely.
We care very deeply. But how do we go about, and how does the city manager and city staff go about trying to make sure that all of it works together well, Madam Mayor, and that we're not just chasing our tails and still dealing with the same issues and still having people coming up saying, we got homeless sitting on our benches,
Yep.
and, but when they need, we have this brand new behavioral health facility, brand spanking new.
Yep.
That's over there, and doesn't that tie in with a lot of opioid? Doesn't the homeless issue, aren't there a number of people in the demographic that are in need of that? I mean, so it seems like everything the pieces are potentially all in place, maybe, I don't know, but how does it all work together, and what do we need to do to establish that? And I'm going on and on. Please give me an answer.
Thank you, sir. That was a great question. Courtney and I have been getting jazzed in the back seats over there listening to all of you talk because it is all related. They are all pieces of a puzzle. The foster care, the homelessness, the community resource center, it all goes together with this community action plan, with supporting people with drugs in your community. It's all overlapping. All of these people need help. We can help them maybe all at once with a resource center. So you can maybe work with facilitators. Maybe you hire someone to lead the council we discussed a little bit earlier, the Opioid Abatement Council. That's where we get all the hats in the room. That's where we get the people with lived experience in a room. That's where we get the city delegates, the county delegates in the room. We get the organization leaders in the room. We get people from the homelessness and the foster care people in the room. We all sit together, we look at the problem, and we figure it out together. The council is going to have all the hats in the room. That's our intention. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
The Leatherman Behavioral Health Center is a huge piece of that. We believe we can tap into that big resource that you all have available to you, which is amazing, and put these pieces, you all have everything. It's there, right? It's just putting the pieces together and connecting the resources.
Mr. City Manager, can we put this on the agenda for our budget retreat to take a deeper dive and whether by Zoom or in person, invite folks in to help us, because I don't want to miss out on the opportunity, and I'm sure everybody agrees with that, to how do we figure out how to make it all work together. And it just seems like we're going to have to do we can't solve it here today, but it seems like we need to do a deep dive, Madam Mayor, to try to address this. And our police force as well, I'm sure, is very interested in all of it and how we handle our policing, and all of these pieces just seem to all work together. if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong. So,
Well, we can talk about what's going to go on at that budget conference, but you can handle that.
I got another question out there. With the opioid settlement funds, they have to be tied to certain strategies. All these fit within those? Okay.
Yep, they're all in score of compliance.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Everything that was discussed today actually is in compliance.
Okay, good deal.
Great.
And then, I have another question. I can't think of it, so.
Okay.
Going back to the law enforcement real quick, we do have in the community action plan more built out in the links. There's a full written out co-response piece of that that will support deflection and responding to de-escalation crises in the community.
Okay.
I know it was. So one thing that I saw in the report was that our deaths by overdose were 40% higher than like the state average. So our overdoses were the same, but the fatalities were substantially higher. Was there any anomaly? Was it a reporting anomaly? Was it a lack of training or lack of Narcan, or what? That just really stuck out to me.
Yeah, I'd say the lack of treatment, the lack of detox, those uninsured folks not being able to get in the detox where it's critically important to detox in a safe place from the drug. I'd say that's a huge puzzle piece there. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want I want to let you know too that we actually had a conversation internally about that rate. We thought we were wrong, and we were double checking our research because we felt like we were giving the wrong number because the concern was so high. But I would also mention too that rural areas are going to struggle just because there's less response out there, there's less access to services out there. It's just harder for people to ask for help in those rural areas.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your research and great information.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Right. Council, next we have Mashiro, Ms. Building Florence Together Annual Report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam Mayor, Council, City Manager, residents, I am so excited to be here to present our annual report. So, back in 2014, according to the comprehensive plan, the CDC was recommended. And so in 2021, it was ordained by council that Building Florence Together was adopted. And so I'm here to report that we had another banner year. Last year I stood before you and I was so excited because we were able to finish our rehab on Gilliard Street. And so this year, according to our strategic plan, we were able to build 2 brand new homes. But before I get to that point, get this slide up. This year we were blessed to do a beautiful groundbreaking ceremony where our honorable mayor, our city manager, was able to speak as we broke the ground. And on that particular land, we were able to build 2 brand new homes. And so I'm excited. This year, we also was awarded a $500,000 line of credit to help leverage our existing assets. And the city also provided us 11 single-family homes. So the initial investment of $400,000 from the city is now worth almost $4 million. So I'm excited about Building Florence Together and what we're doing, and we would not be able to be in that position without the support of the city. But before I move on, I want to thank my awesome board. There is a few of us here this morning. Miss Suzanne is also on the board, and I want to invite them up just to share just a couple of words of how they support, and I couldn't do what I do without them. This is our Honorable Chris Hanley. He is our Vice President at this time.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us. And let me say this. She took my line. Well, we are supported by you, and we couldn't do what we could do without your support. So thank you. But let me say this. Michelle Morgan is amazing. And y'all just need to thank the Lord that Michelle's here. She's doing a wonderful job. Yes. I'm the vice president. The president is not here today, Clay Swaggart, and so that's all I have to say. There you go.
I'd like to piggyback on that. She is truly a gift to what we do, how we try to make a difference in this community, and the support that we get from you guys. It is so needed to revitalize and just put the message out there of what we do and the difference that we make. I've been on this board since existence and served in many capacities, and thank you for the opportunity to serve, and we do it with a lot of pride.
I hate to be repetitive, but I have to thank Mayor Barnes and council and our outstanding leader. She makes this job easy. She makes the job easy. To come into the meetings, make decisions that are very important to the constituents of our community. This has been a work for some years now, and to finally see it come to fruition is outstanding. Home ownership is important. Home ownership drives loyalty and passion for community. And so hearing that and knowing that, we want to thank you all. Thank you for your support, continued support for what we're doing. We are touching lives, and your support is greatly appreciated. And to God be the glory for all tides rising and everyone benefiting from the work that the city and that Building Florence together is doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Last but not least, I did provide our audited financial statements, and I'm pleased to announce that our audit was clean with no issues. So I think it's important to know that Building Florence together is endeavoring to do things right and do things in compliance. We appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, yes. So, wait a minute. Council, Mayor Pro Tem.
I just want to say thank you to all of y'all for doing what you do, and to our mayor for the leadership you've offered in this whole endeavor. This report is for you, because it's one more piece of the puzzle. That's right. It's just another part of what we're doing overall, and so you have it. Okay, great. So because as here today, it looks like today has been the day for all the different pieces to come before us, and I think it's great timing. But just again, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I too want to say thank you. I remember us traveling, Scotty, to Greenville to see what they were doing, and we dreamed of one day doing that and more. And Michelle and board, thank you, because we are well on our way. Thank you so much. It was hard to let the baby go into the hands of you all, but I can say it could not be in better hands. You all are doing a phenomenal job. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Appointments and boards will be done in executive session, discussed in this executive session. So now we will have our city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. During the season of giving, I thought it was prudent that we talk a little bit about the city of Florence and its wonderful employees. Our employees made a remarkable impact through their generosity and service this year, as they do every year. Together, they supported numerous community initiatives, including the Carolina Clemson Harvest Hope food donations. Councilman Bailey, as we know, we lost the football game, but we actually won the hearts of the citizens of Florence.
Go Gamecocks.
Go Gamecocks. Because we won there, we did provide 2,907 pounds of canned and non-perishable foods. The Angel Tree is currently going on. We're fulfilling the wishes of 40 children who have incarcerated parents by buying Christmas toys for those children. We did the Heart Walk. We raised over $7,000 in the Heart Walk. Our United Way campaign is always strong. We earned this year the Golden Sponsor Award, and we contributed more than $49,000. Greg's Grocery, our police department and others provided and packed 400 boxes of food and gave away 425 turkeys this year. We're working with Adopt a Dorm. That's supported by our police and our fire departments there to provide, again, toys to those in need. We participate in a police toy giveaway and bring in joy to families in need. These efforts reflect our employees' strong commitment to supporting and uplifting our community. So I really wanted to let you and the public know about all the things. And these are, please be clear that this is coming out of employees' pockets. So they are contributing and giving back to this community, not only through the work they do, but obviously through their financial contributions, continue to make Florence a better place to live, play, and grow. Also wanted to shout out our fire department. We have a world-class fire department, and there's a little town you all know of called Rock Hill, South Carolina, about 65,000 population north of here. They will be coming to Florence to study our fire department, to look at all the wonderful things we're doing in our fire department here. So I just wanted to brag a little bit about the fire department that others in the industry are noticing, and they're coming to Florence to kind of copy what we're doing.
Mr. City Manager, is Chief wanting another fire truck?
Actually, you're actually right. He does. He wants a fire truck. I met with him. Since I'm bragging on him, I have to talk about it. We're working hard on our budget, and I asked my staff to set up meetings with me, and Shannon was the first one to set that meeting. And all the other staff was like, okay, the money's gone. So, yeah, another fire truck will be on the horizon, potentially.
With the ladder that they carry?
They'll have to carry the ladder, yes. They'll have to carry it. But thank you so much for allowing me. That concludes my report. Again, just shout out during this time of year to our great, wonderful employees.
Thank you so much. This is just a wonderful time. Can y'all believe this is the last city council meeting of the year? It has gone. Well, I'm doing my mayor's report, so let me just go on and say that. But this is the last one of the year, and we look back and say, where did the time go? I want to take a moment just to thank each and every one of you for the spirit that you bring to this great city. This season reminds us. My phone trying to act crazy, of the power of kindness, unity, and hope, values that Florence continues to shine brightly. In a year filled with challenges and triumphs, you have shown resilience, compassion, and a commitment to one another that makes our community strong. Because remember, we are truly stronger together. May this holiday season fill your home with peace, and that passeth all understanding, joy that this world cannot take away, and moments that warm the heart. So from all of us that sit here, all of staff, we wish you a happy holiday season and a prosperous new year. We are praying that you walk into the new year covered in blessings, surrounded by love, and strengthened with a renewed hope. So like I said, from all of us to all of you, a big hug, and we love you much. Okay, so, and that was my holiday greeting for all of you. And so I wore my red to read that. So you got on your tie. Yeah, we were ready. I want to give a kudos, hats off to our South Florence Bruins. They had another successful year. However, they did not take the title of championship there in Orangeburg, but in Florence, they are champions for us. They played, this is probably the fourth time in a row that they've gone to the state championship. Y'all, we've got some winners in Florence, and we are so proud of them. So we are applauding them for their great work. I hear that there were several that had the flu. I don't know if that contributed or not. However, we are still winners, and we are so very proud of them. On Thursday, we want to say congratulations to Florence 1. They will have the ribbon cutting for this medical high school. Y'all, Florence is the bomb.com, right? We've got a medical grand opening medical high school grand opening, and that is Thursday at 5:30. I want to say our hats go off to 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock until 6:30. Okay? At Pointer, at the new medical school. And then, I was about to say something. No, something else. Hannah, and her team. Y'all, the rain just keeps coming for us. That means some good things are about to happen. But we had the Christmas tree lighting, and it rained, but it didn't stop us. We had a very successful tree lighting, and Santa was there. He was just drinking cocoa in Lula's Cafe. But we really enjoyed ourselves. I think that is all. I think that's it on my report. So we will now move to committee reports and Business Development Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And just as a following up, I want to thank you, and I'm sure all the council wants to thank you for your leadership this past year. It has been a pleasure, as always, working with you.
Thank you.
The Business Development Committee met on November the 20th, and in attendance was Madam Mayor, Councilman McKay, myself, our city manager, Mr. Davis, Mr. Moore, Mr. Hemingway. We had a report from David and Julie Tuttle with Sticks Development about Urban Square, and I am pleased to announce that our groundbreaking ceremony is going to be taking place on December the 18th, and that is at 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, so right across the street, where they now have the fencing up all around it on the site. That's where we're going to have the groundbreaking, and then the old warehouse on Baruti Street right behind it is where the reception is going to be. So we invite folks to come out for this wonderful time that is a long time coming, but that was, I think, the highlight of our meeting was being able to do that. We also got reports on the updates, various projects that are ongoing. The work is taking place, whether it's the utilities work or the building and construction side. Lots of good things happening in our city. We are just very excited. It seems like there had been a protracted delay from COVID that kind of had a hangover effect, it feels like, for a few years. But it feels like that hangover is now wearing off, and a number of these projects that have been in delay, including the nursing home over on Lucas Street, is now coming about as well. So a number of these ones that have been in delay are now happening, as well as the Carolina Theater, the NOFO building, which we've referred to across from Victor. So a lot of different projects are coming. Good stuff happening in the city. Anything else? Anything else? That's our report for the Business Development Committee.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have community redevelopment. Okay, and that committee is Councilman Smith and Councilman McCall. We did not meet, and we will not meet for December. It's Christmas. So we will take those time off, but we've got so much coming up in the new year for you, and that we're excited. So I will pass on, is somebody representing, okay, the Finance and Audit Committee next.
And so that's me, Councilman McCall is the chair, and Councilman Smith. Councilman McCall's out today, asked me to give a report. First thing that we had was the report that the Stedman Group presented. So we saw the same presentation then, and I was hoping Glenn wasn't going to be here so I could take credit for this other initiative. But Glenn Bottenheimer, who's on our staff in the finance department, came to us with a suggestion of looking at our declining business tax rates. So Florence is one of the few cities with a declining rate for business license, but also we have the most aggressive declining rate. What that means is, as your revenue goes up, the rate of your business license goes down incrementally from like 100% to 80%, 70%, 60% as your volume goes up. With the lowest percentage, 10% of the business license fee, being paid by the highest producers of retail sales, like your big box stores, which was, I think it was 6 million, around 5 or 6 million and above, it was 10% of the business license. And so what the city has suggested, which really levels out the playing field for small business. Small business is anywhere from 0 to 7 million as defined by, I think, Google. I think that was Google's definition, Wikipedia's definition. And like 0 to 100 employees, which small business is what really fuels our economy. And what we were seeing is that we were giving we're currently giving a big advantage to our big box stores over our local small businesses by offering them this declining rate. And so we're going to look to level that out where it's equal, where small business at around 6-7 million will be the same consistent rate all the way through. So I think this is good. This would be, it affects mostly your big box retail stores. And so they, in terms of our local stores, it will make it fair. So they're going to come to us and present, what that would look like, how that will affect our fees going forward. But I just want to commend the staff for really looking at our local small business, because we really get a lot of comments and a lot of suggestions from small business owners saying that, we need more help, we need more assistance. We feel like a lot of burdens on us, and so I think this is one thing that we can do that will at least make things a little bit more level moving forward.
Thank you.
That was it.
Thank you so much, Councilman Braddock. Next, council, we will enter into executive session, and for discussion, there will be a personnel matter and regarding appointments and boards and commissions, and then we will return. What say you?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.